Well, welcome to the live stream. Hopefully, you guys are seeing me. I'm on OBS streaming live to YouTube, and I'm streaming in 4K. At least I hope you guys are seeing it as 4K. It says it's 4K in OBS. And let me turn the audio down here and let me know if the lips are in sync. I did do some tests. So we'll just try that and see what happens here with the claps. But I hope you guys are enjoying your evening. Thank you for joining me. We'll look at the chat here in a minute. I know that DJ Ware and Hank are already with me. It is a sunny day in June in the Greater Tri-Cities area. I also see Jay there. Gio Walker, thank you for joining me. I will pop those things up on the chat here in just a minute. I think I have everything working here. Let me just put my note up here to start with. Yeah, let's try this. So let's put the logo on as well. So cool. Thank you guys for joining me. We will go through the chat here real quick. Just if you have not subscribed yet, let's move the chat up just a tiny bit here. There we go. If you have not already subscribed and you're watching us tonight, please subscribe, and you can chat 1 minute after you subscribe. If you don't like what you're hearing, feel free to unsubscribe, but we do have subscribe only chat on tonight. I'm Keith. This is 4K video. First time I've ever streamed 4K. Hopefully it's working. Hopefully my lips are in sync. Please let me know in the chat and I will welcome you guys to the chat. I think that is high enough here. Let's just say hi here. Good to have you here, DJ Ware, and from Dallas, Texas. Always good to have you. Check out his channel. We've got Hank here from South Carolina, and I'm checking in. So say hi to Hank, guys, in the chat. Let's see here. We have Jay. Jay is from hello. No, Jay, you can put in a chat once again where you're from. I'd love to check that out and let everybody else check that out as well. Looks like we can say hi to, let's see, Chio Walker. Thank you. Let us know where you're from as well. Let me push this button so I can see my monitor. Losing all kinds of cameras here for whatever reason. They're timing out. And my monitor's timing out as well. Obviously, using OBS is just a little different, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. Sounds like the 4K is working really well. Thank you for that little heads up, Chio. Let me know if the lips are in sync as well. Let's see. Yep, seeing me in 4K. So this is a 4K stream. I have a little over 100 megabytes up on my my wireless. I did talk to my wireless tech, and he is going to join us in a live stream. That's going to be probably in about 3 weeks. We have some shooting to do, and then I will be gone next week. I have to go host some sound in another town, about 30 minutes from, well, 15 minutes from my house, 20 minutes to the location. And so I'm now booked to do some live sound mixing next Tuesday night. So I will not be live with you next week. I just happened to have that come up, which is really cool. Let's just go through. Looks like lips are good. I'm using the same settings as we did last night. We'll look at those here in a minute. I do have my Instant 360 camera hooked up as well, so hopefully it won't lock up. I did have the video stream lock up one time on me when I was testing, so we'll see how that goes tonight. If it does lock up, thanks for checking out this 4K. We pulled it off. I am streaming 4K on YouTube. It sounds like you guys are seeing it 4K using my EOS R, my Camlink 4K by Elgato. My EOS R is set to 4K. I'm using a 16 to 35 millimeter f4 lens. It's an L lens, so it's the more expensive glass by Canon. And because the 4K is cropped, it's like a 1.6 crop. I'm pretty sure if I remember the specs. So I'm having to use my 16 to 35 to get my traditional shot here in the studio. I am using the Rodecaster Pro 2 this week, but I only have really one camera as far as my normal camera. As you can see, I have them fired up. I have a camera here behind me. Of course, you guys can't see that, but I do have my B camera, but it's not live tonight. I literally have my Insta360 link that I'll show you guys here in a minute. It was playing in the intro, and then I also have my Canon EOS R. Coming out of it, HDMI, a mini jack, converting that to regular HDMI, and then that goes into my laptop, into one of my faster USB 3.0 ports, and I have the other end of the HDMI plugged into the Camlink, and then Camlink into the side of the computer, which we're going to look at because I do have my SkyCam, but it's not in the sky today. It's right here next to my desk, and we're going to look at that here in a minute. Good to have you, Tony. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's see. Some of your movement is a little jittery. That does not surprise me. I'm not sure YouTube is designed to do 4K. Who knows? Because you have to be able to stream 4K to your location. So hopefully, this is not going to be a horrible stream tonight. I'm not sure the world is ready yet for 4K streaming. I don't know if you can change your settings. If you know if you can change your settings on that side of the world, so you're not having to look at me at 4K, then I would change that. You can always play this video back after it's done being live, and you can check out 4K and then compare that to last week's stream, where I was also streaming in OBS, but I was only streaming 1080p. So tonight I'm 4K, and as big as I could go, and 2997 frames per second, and it probably is a bit jittery. So new subscribers are Minutemen. Yeah, that's kind of correct, Hank. They are Minutemen because they get to subscribe in 1 minute. Jay is actually giving us information here. So I'm streaming in 4K, but he is watching in 480. Well, so I probably don't look that great at 480, but evidently that's a possibility. I know that when I watch videos after they've gone live, I've never tried, I can lower the resolution or raise the resolution to full resolution. So if you upload a video at 1080p, I can set it to 1080p on the bottom right-hand side, and we'll take a look at that here as well as OBS. Tonight, because I have a camera, I'm not going to share my screen, but I do have my Insta360 where I can do a super source in OBS. We'll talk a little bit about how that works. So Chio says he's from South Jersey. That's really, really cool. It's good to have you. He's looking for the Wi-Fi stream. Yeah, Jay, we are having that. I got a hold of Mark today. He actually said, yeah, he'd be happy to do some video with me of all the devices. After he said that, yes to that, I reached back to him and said, would you be willing to be on the show? And he said, sure, sounds like fun, but are you really sure they want me? And I said, absolutely, without question. And he sent me back a text basically saying, you're such a forward thinker. And I sent back, I said, no, go ahead and watch last week's stream, because people were saying that they really wanted you on the show so that you could answer questions. So I will not be live next week because I got to do a live gig. It's the 4th of July weekend, and so I'm going to be doing some sound literally Thursday night setup, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, then tearing down Wednesday. So I will be booked solid on Tuesday. If I can take some video footage out there, I will, and post that hopefully on Tuesday, maybe Wednesday morning when I get back from Tuesday, and then you guys can consume that. Sorry I haven't had videos posted on my channel. I've just been really busy helping plan this event and doing summer things here with the family, but it is great to be back with you live, 4K, OBS, using the Elgato Camlink 4K and my EOS R with a 16 to 35 mil f4 lens, and I am only monitoring myself right now in the little flip out screen of my EOS R because I don't have everything else hooked up in the studio. I can't show you a laptop screen. except for I can show it with my little Instant 360. So let's go ahead and bring that on. Let me turn the chat off for a second. And let's see if I can do both of these at the same time without losing you guys. Yep, so there is the Camlink right there. And I can change where this this Insta 360 looks. So there is my desktop. You guys can see that on the bottom right. And then I'll take you through the 6 settings I have here in the studio. There's one of my overhead lights. Here is my my NZXT computer that's right to the side right here. Then this is a shot of my Stream Deck Plus, and it's got the pack by Sideshow FX on it. So we will be talking about this in the very near future and doing some live editing of a video with using that pack in the Stream Deck Plus. That should be a fun show. Next little shot, again, Camlink. And then there is part of the desk so you guys can see what we have going on here. Let's turn this Insta 360 off just for a minute and get back to the chat. So let's just see who else is here. Again, our main focus tonight is to show you that you can stream 4K in OBS. So we'll talk about that here a little bit more. Jay is saying that when I move my arms, let's put chat over here. When I move my arms, it's a little jittery. That's not surprising. Yeah, I can only do what my Canon EOS R can do, and that's 30 frames per second. But I believe yes, you can do 60 frames a second on YouTube. Now, I'm using full 4K, so it's not like 2560. I'm at 3860p, I think. Let me look at my settings here real quick. Hopefully it's not going to lock up. I'm trying to go to my settings. Yeah, it didn't lock up. That's perfect. So, let's see. Video. Yeah, 3840 by 2160, 2997 frames per second. So we'll just shut that off. I don't want to lose the stream. Hopefully we are still live, and stream current bitrate is 2669. So we are having some problems with frame rate. So hopefully we won't lose the stream tonight. But let's keep going through some of the stuff. Yeah, 30 frames per second is what I'm doing here, Cleo. So yeah. So let's talk just real quickly before I lose you guys. And hopefully I have plenty of bandwidth to upload, but again, I have no clue what's happening once it hits YouTube. If I have my buffer settings right in OBS, I'm definitely not an OBS open broadcast system user. And I do have some frame delay set up on my voice now. So my Rodecaster Pro version 2 and my SM7B gets to you at the same time as my video. And here's a test clap. We'll just see how close that is on your end and let me know if it looks spot on. So again, thank you so much for joining me. I'm Keith. This is Life Journey Production Studios, and I wanted to just try a stream at 4K on OBS. And I last week we went old school, kind of went back in time, streaming 1080p, 2997, using my Rodecaster Pro. And I actually have my Rodecaster Pro on the table here behind me, kind of as a podcast setup back there, and just as a little background in our set tonight, because again, I like the Rodecaster Pro version 1. I also love the Rodecaster Pro version 2, which I have here in the studio, and that's what we're using tonight. And I like that I can bring music up. I like that I could actually record and have a quality audio recording. So I could push record right now and it would be recording my audio. And then I would have a WAV file, full resolution, that I could use later if I wanted to edit a video out of this. So again, the fact that you can use free software like OBS and be able to stream 4K Not that I think 4K is the way to go. I think 1080p right now for the world, the industry, people's internet speeds, that's probably the max that they're going to want to watch you live. So again, it's good to have you guys all here tonight. Tony's saying, yeah, we're dropping frames though. Yeah, I'm sure I am dropping frames. Again, I apologize. We will have our other stream. And we'll talk about my internet. That's coming up here in about 3 weeks. So in 2 weeks when I'm back, so I will not be here next Tuesday, we're going to come back. I'm going to stream from my A10 Mini Pro. I'm only going to stream 1080p, but I want to go back in time and do at least one more back in time stream. Again, talking about how you can use the A10 Mini Pro. I'm going to do some picture-in-picture stuff. And tonight I want to show off a couple things that you can do with OBS. So let me set this up here real quickly. So what I want to do now is let's bring up my super source background. We are going to turn my Insta360 camera on, and let's turn my EOS R. Let's go a little bit smaller with this frame. We'll go a little bit bigger with the EOS R. Turn that off for a second and let me pop on my slideshow. Yeah, so here is a little slideshow. This is my original studio. Let's turn chat off the air. So this is my original studio. So this is kind of a super source, even though I did not crop the EOS R. I can make it a little smaller, but being we don't need that side of the screen, I made it bigger, but there we are, smaller. So you can do similar super source. So if I wanted to bring my Insta360 camera back on, I could bring that, let's see, where do we want to put that? Could bring my Insta360 camera on, and let's unlock that. And I could then bring this up. And so you can see now I have a super source. We'll just change what that's looking at. So let's go to my desktop. So there you have a 3-window setup there on the screen. And so give you an idea, I could turn my background layer off because it looks like it is showing through, and then bring that over. But there's a super source that you can actually do in OBS, which is really exciting. That you can do these kind of things. Just keep in mind that you have to be able to have all these sources. So I do have my Insta360 Skycam, so I can change what that sees. Obviously, I'm in the bottom left-hand frame. And then the slideshow, I can take you through these slides. So let's talk about these slides real quick. Then we'll come back to the chat. I wanted to share just a little history about this studio. So about 6.5, 7 years ago, Shannon and I felt like we needed to take advantage of selling my parents' house and our house and moving them side by side with us because my father-in-law was having some health issues. So we sold 2 houses, live in an apartment. We picked this property. So there's one slide. Here's another slide of the floor going into the house. There is a long shot. This is the Country Mercantile that we're actually going to shoot the top of, that has the relay that sends my internet signal to my house and back up to the internet. So I'm actually shooting this shot from inside Country Mercantile. Here's a shot of Shannon and I, where we're taking that shot from inside the Country Mercantile. And it's kind of like a farm store where you have all kinds of vegetables, chocolate. They have lots of really cool food there. Lots of different ice creams, different cookies, all kinds of candies, fresh bread. They have fresh preserves, everything you could imagine, kind of that farm style thing. So Shannon and I like to go there and have lunch and have coffee. It's just literally 5 minutes from my house. I'm pointing to where my house is eventually going to be. There's no real houses out there yet. There's the house going up. and that's where this studio is. And that far right window in that shot is where my studio is. So that's my house, got a 3-car garage. And so I think this is the first time we've talked about Studio B, and you can see where it will go from outside. That little garage, so there's a big garage door on the left in that shot and a little garage door next to it. That's where Studio B will go. That whole little garage will be Studio B. And then you can see Studio A, it would be clear to the right. And then you have the entryway, my bonus room right now that's right next to me. It's inset into the house, but there's actually a bonus room right next to that far right window. Sorry, I don't have a pen or anything to show you guys that. Here I am sitting in the man cave. It really was a man cave. Let's take a look at what that looks like. There I am doing some voiceover work, and in my lift chair, I have this little laptop. I bought this to be able to sit and put it on my lap and actually have a mouse and a keyboard. So that's why I had this out for tonight. Sorry about that. So again, that is my man cave. There was 3 of those chairs. The two left chairs are lift chairs. The one on the right just reclines. Here's a look at my old rack. I literally had, I don't know, there's probably $12,000 worth of equipment inside that rack. Most of that's been sold, but there you go. You can see my JBL speakers on stands. They're still on stands here behind my desk, but now they're in the closet side of that bedroom. They originally were on this wall right behind me on the left and right of that TV set, and the sub was on the floor. And then there's a shot of those chairs, kind of how it was laid out. And you guys you don't see that wall very often because that's the wall on this side. And if I have camera B, or I call it camera 1, this is camera 2. Camera 1 fired up in 2 weeks. I'll show you guys that wall just again. And then here is another angle, the back of the studio looking at the TV. And so I could watch TV, I could play Xbox, I could watch movies in here. I had the Bose system. You can see the sound bar below the TV. And then I had surround sound Bose speakers as well as my really high-end JBL speakers. So I could do voiceover and mixing, and I could do editing on the big screen TV. And then Shannon and I decided we needed to change this room around. And so this is one of those pictures I look back at, and I just really enjoyed. That was a chair I would lift, and then I could sit there with that mouse pad, keyboard pad on my lap, or I could put it on a sofa table and lift the chair. So a lot of times I would work from my lap, and other times I would work from the lift chair and the sofa table. Again, there's a look. I think this is all the pictures. And then we were doing Shannon's live stream, or actually her podcast, in the dining room. And we just decided that we wanted to move everything in here. And that's what the table is set up for. We do her podcast right there. We're currently taking a break, but we did a couple this year and about 4 last year. So lots of things going on in our life. And then here is OBS. So that's what the screen looked like last week, with the exception of the still on the left. I just copied this so you guys could see the OBS screen. And then again, here's what the studio looks like when you're on the other side looking back at my desk. So that's taken clear over there. And so again, a lot of things crammed in here. That's where I started live streaming. That's what we were talking about last week. And now I'm in this studio, and all of this stuff transpired over a 2-year period of time. And again, like I said, we built the house, and now the house has been occupied by us for 5 years. And I've been in this back bedroom as a studio for about 2.5 years now. And for a little over 2 years, it was a man cave. And again, my father-in-law could come over and get in and out of the lift chair. So we watched football here. We watched movies here. He is now gone on and passed away. And so that's part of the reason why I had a picture, I thought I'd put it in here, but we actually got a chance to watch a couple movies in here, even after I, just making some changes here. Let me turn the slideshow off and Insta360 off for a second. And let's just do this. Try to cut down some of the issues with bandwidth. So again, guys, this is a live stream using OBS, streaming 4K. I'm doing our best to do super source using OBS, and I think it's quite fun to try these things out and use these different tools. So cool. Let's just catch up here in the chat. Cool. It's good to have you, Festida. What latency do you use on YouTube? I did not set up any latency in YouTube, so probably should have. Usually I do all of my live streaming from my ATEM Extreme ISO, and there's kind of a different layout, so maybe I did not get the latency set up right. Again, I am definitely not a OBS person. I haven't used OBS for almost 3.5 years, and just wanted to go old school and come back on my channel and do OBS and kind of show some of the things that you can do, like being able to bring in, you know, a SkyCam if I wanted to, so that you guys could see around the room. And so you can use a webcam in OBS. You can use a Camlink by Elgato 4K to bring in a DSLR through HDMI. And again, that is right here. Let's see what still image is that. Laptop, light, number 4, 5 there. So there's the Camlink plugged into the side of my computer. And just going back here to my laptop, let's change things up here just real quickly. So here is my laptop, and you can see on the left-hand side in that picture of my laptop, I can move these windows around. So if they're not locked, I can move them around. I can go down here in the list and lock them. But again, I'm making some quick super source layouts, and I don't want to lock them. But you can see my mouse on the moving things around on the left-hand side in that window live. And then I can change where all of these windows are. That's the chat. We should lock that. Just make sure it's still positioned good. So again, you can do super source, and you can do all these layouts in OBS. Again, not going to go into details on OBS tonight, but I wanted to show you that you can actually lay out super source. You need to have a background layer. So here's my background layer right here, turning it on, off. And then let's go back and turn my background layer back on. It's back on. Then I can also, we'll turn these two cameras, turn the logo off, Insta360 off. We'll leave the EOS R camera on, and I'll turn the super source background off. And then I can also bring in my background still. So when I was doing my SkyCam, I just put it right down here in the corner, and there you go. I have my background image on, and I also have my main camera where I normally put my SkyCam. So I could turn my SkyCam on and then move it over here. So let's show you where it came on. So I'll resize it. So we'll just resize that to about like that. And then we'll move it down over top of that OBS graphic there, hit transition. So each time I do this, I have to build it on the left-hand side and then transition to the other side. And so you can see that again, everything I build on this far left side is preview. And then I have to, I'll show you, I'll turn on my EOS R, turn off my Instant 360 camera. So my EOS R is down here on the right. And then when I hit transition, all of that goes live. So there I am with my still image and you guys can see me. So we'll go back up here to almost full screen, turn the background off, super source on, and then hit transition. And now I'm back, can bring my logo on the air, and I could also bring chat on the air. So let's clear the chat and turn it back on. So the chat is on. Let's see if anybody else joined me tonight. DJ Ware says he is, see, is this going to show? Chat on the air here. Let's double check. There we go. DJ Ware says he is at 4K, which is great. Tony had this to say. I'm on Wi-Fi as well. Stream is fine at 1080 at 1440. Drops frames at 2160. And again, I think that's getting it from YouTube to your location. But again, I'm not looking at any of the settings. Now it does say that this stream is current bitrate is 2674. I think it should be a lot higher than that. So I don't know if that's happening in OBS because I don't have a big enough buffer. But again, guys, I would love to hear your feedback. If you want to add things into the chat tonight, it is going to replay. Like if you know buffer settings inside OBS, I would love to hear that in the chat. Again, this was just me going back in time. I did not have an EOS R that would output HDMI, not HDMI 4K. So I couldn't even test. I had no camera at that time that would do 4K out of the HDMI. So I could never test a stream at 4K in OBS. But I've always, since the very beginning of streaming, I think I streamed a couple times using my webcams, my like little 720p webcam, my little 1080p Logitech webcam. I used to have it right up here, but I never use it. So I do think I use those. I'm trying to keep my computers on here, but I did not ever get a chance to try out 4K, and I've never really wanted to, but for some reason I just felt like, let's go back in time and let's go ahead and let's try, well, let's put this up here too. I believe YouTube recommends 34 megabytes a second for 4K 30. Yeah, and I have, yeah, that's up there. I have 100 and some up. Let me see. Mark did a test today. Let me look at his text. He said, and I quote, where is his text? I know it's here somewhere. There it is. He said that I had 110 up and 140 megabytes a second down. But again, that was earlier this afternoon. When everybody comes home, it may completely change how much bandwidth I have. And I'm sure I could go into OBS and look at the stats. I just don't want to do anything that's going to cause me to lose my stream. And when I do that, I'm just turning my little flip out monitor on because I'm used to being able to double check and make sure that I'm streaming. So bits. Okay. I stand corrected. So DJ is saying bits, not megabytes, megabits. Yeah, megabits. I need to practice. So DJ Ware says the stream is rock solid, which is great. So I have a lot to learn. I will do a little bit more research in OBS. They've been making lots of updates, upgrades. There's lots of new cool features. as well as in Zoom, which I use for meetings. There's been some great updates in Zoom. So if you go back in time when I was using OBS, it was literally 3.5 years ago. I've probably done 25 different updates. I would think if I went and looked at every update I've done. I did an update last week before I went live. So again, a lot to learn if I wanted to use it all the time. But again, I just wanted to do a test stream at 1080p using my EOS R. This week, I told you guys that if we couldn't do a 4K stream, then I would have a second stream ready to go just in case. I did want to touch base on a couple things tonight just because I think it's pertinent to our conversation. I also want to look to see if you guys have any comments or feedback or questions about how I am set up. I think I shared with everybody that I'm using my ASUS ZenBook. It's an i9 laptop. It's called the Duo. It has 2 screens. There is the ability to show this to you on my screen. Let me bring it up here. So there you go. And there's actually a screen down here I don't have fired up, but the bottom section is a screen as well. So it's kind of fun to play with. Oh, I got my clock on. That's cute. How did my timer get on? It's fun to play with these tools and just see how they perform with your laptop. And again, when you're using using OBS, it's got encode. It's got to stream it out to YouTube. It also has to render everything. So whatever PC or Macintosh you're using, if it's a laptop or a desktop, or even the new M1, M2 Mac minis, whatever you're using, you definitely have to make sure you have the horsepower in that laptop because it's doing all the work. The nice thing I love about the ATEM Mini and ATEM Mini Pro and all the way up the category you like it when I just get up like that, is that the Pro and the Pro ISO, they added an encoder. So not only can this record the program out, it also encodes, and then you can stream directly from it. So you basically are coming right out the internet port, cat port, right? And you're going into your network through a switch or maybe direct to a modem. And then if you have enough speed up, you can stream out to the wild world web. And then also you could then stream to a location. Now, a number of different ways from Blackmagic Design and some of their new devices, but they have a streaming bridge that you can also stream to in your house. So on the other end of your building through your internal network, you could stream to it to like a monitor if someone was watching or you had guests waiting to come in. You could literally stream out. So now you can only stream to one location, so that would be great for recording. But if you're live, you can't stream to 2 locations at the same time. But you could use this to stream to somewhere in your house. Again, like I said, if you just needed a monitor, you could come into this as an input and then just use it as a monitor sender to someplace in the building or a conference room. You can also stream through the streaming bridge to a location away from your network, but you'd have to open up a firewall on the other side, send them a link so they would know how to use their streaming bridge to tap into your signal. And then you would stream directly to their location, to their streaming bridge. And then outside of the streaming bridge is a HDMI output. And that HDMI output would go to a monitor or into your show. So you could bring a guest that way too. There's easier ways of doing this, but Blackmagic did give you the ability to encode and stream and record. And you can record directly to a USB-C drive right here with the USB-C port, or you can use this as a webcam. It's either or, but when you get to the ISO models, the extreme models, then you get 2 USB-C ports. So you could have one recording and the other one as a webcam. So I could be bringing in tonight in OBS this ATEM Mini Pro, which we will do in 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, I'm going to bring this, I'm not going to stream from OBS, but I'm going to show you how I can use the webcam feature of this to bring it into OBS I will also be using my Extreme to do that. So that's in 2 weeks. So again, we won't be here next week because I have a gig on Tuesday night, and that's the first time I've had a conflict on Tuesday night in a while. So we'll be back in 2 weeks, and I'm hoping to have this video on this device ready to go. Let me find that camera. Bring this over. So this is the Stream Deck Plus with the pack from Sideshow Effects to edit in Premiere Pro. So you can see I have all these buttons programmed now. The touchscreen can be programmed. So if I went into edit mode, now you have a lot of choices on the screen, and really tiny, it shows you how many layers you have. So you can change the layers. You can see this changing by just tapping on the buttons, and that now in all the different pages, this first LCD screen becomes a jog location. And if you hit it, it's a scroll, and then you have shuttle. But if I change to like the trim page, it stays there. But these other sections change. So every different section, and there is a manage page, edit page, audio page, graphics page, markers page, multicam page, keyframe page, and caption page. So if I clicked on caption, then it goes to a caption page. You still have the choices to scroll, shuttle, jog right there, but all of these change. And if they have layers, then you can click through the different layers. And so not only do you have all the different pages, you have different layers available depending on where you go. So we are going to do a video on that, and we're also going to have a live edit. I'm going to be using the Stream Deck Plus with a live edit in a video coming up, live stream. That should happen the first part of August. That's what my plans are at this point. Had to be pushed back into August because, again, well, maybe the last week of August we'll get that done. That'll be a lot of fun. We'll actually edit a video. We'll build a little video using that Stream Deck Plus and the Sideshow Effects plug-in packs. They're like $39, $40. You can just type in and Google Sideshow FX. They have packs for all kinds of software, not just Premiere Pro. Final Cut, they have it for DaVinci Resolve. They have it for the coloring part of DaVinci Resolve. They have all kinds of Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, all types of different software, not just Adobe software. Again, you have DaVinci Resolve, and they don't just make these packs for the Stream Deck Plus, they make them for the Stream Decks in general, and then they also make them for Loop Decks. So check out Sideshow FX. I really like this pack, and I'm slowly learning how to use it here live. The other thing I wanted to talk about tonight is obviously, I know that Rode has made some updates to their Go's, and now they have a new wireless Go version that has a microphone built into the receiver and the transmitter, but I still absolutely love my DJI mic kit. In fact, I used this. I did a little lesson thing in Walla Walla, and I was able to just put this in my pocket and hit the record button, and I was able to have a recording of my talk right here. Or I could have plugged it into my phone. I'm using the lightning adapter, using the receiver. And so this receiver receives two microphones, and you have two microphones in the kit. And then you also, let's see if I can put this on my Insta360 camera. So let's go back to here. Yeah, there you go. So let me, let's make this a little smaller here. And then Insta360 a little smaller. We'll get a super source going here. Turn chat off the air. I don't know why I have that on. Okay, so then I can put this on camera. So as soon as you open it up, it fires up, and you have mic 1, mic 2. Both of these mics have 8 megabytes of memory inside them, I think right around 7 to 8. You have the ability to control it, all the settings from right here. And then if I move this receiver out of the way, you actually have a lightning adapter and USB-C adapter, and those plug in right here on the bottom. You just have to pull this flash clip. What is it called? I can't even think of what those things are called tonight, but that'll go on top of your camera, or this can plug in using the lightning or the USB-C adapter in an iPad or an iPhone or a smartphone, and you can record directly to it. So you could have a guest, and you could have, with that, you could have a guest, or you could have a recording and not go live into a phone. You could go live from it as good quality audio. It's wireless audio, 2.4 gigahertz. So again, I really like this. I was just thinking about something that we could talk just a little bit about tonight, just to add something to this. And I love the fact that it's a charging case. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 lights right there. And if I turn it around, close it, they're charging. And I have a USB-C port right here to charge the case. So not only do you have batteries inside, you can't change them, but you have batteries inside each of the microphones and the receiver. You also can charge them in the case, which I think is really cool. Again, I'm using my Insta360 camera, and it doesn't focus that great. This one doesn't focus either because I have it on my face focus. So one of the things I do like, put that away, one of the things I do like about Sony cameras is they have the ability, let's turn the Insta360 off, center this back again. They have the ability to have that setting in them that will let you hold something up and then pull it back, and it focuses on that. I don't know yet if that's available in Canon cameras. I should probably have the answer to that, but I don't. So again, having the Insta360 camera is really cool because I can show different places in my studio. It does have autofocus. It does have the ability to program 6 different locations, and that's really cool. Having the Stream Deck in the studio now with some of these packs that I can get from Sideshow Effects, that's a cool tool, and I've been playing more and more with that. And then I really, really appreciate what you're capable of doing with this mic kit, and I usually take it everywhere with me just in case I might want to take my phone out and do a interview. I also take a music stand with a phone mount on it. So not a music stand, but a light stand. So I can always set it up with my iPhone on it, plug in my DJI mic receiver, put on one of the mics on me. I can interview someone else and put a mic on them. And again, then I get good audio into my phone, and that's exciting. So, okay, back to El Chat. And let's see if anything else is going on here. Bring my phone up here. Again, thank you so much, guys, for joining me tonight. I do really appreciate those of you that seem to come every week. Let's go up here. Walker says this. I set up VM on the NAS and then set up RMTP on the VM. Yeah. And Tony, I think, Tony, you have a video about how to do that on your channel, if I remember correctly. So, or you did a conversation about it with Joe or Jay. I can't remember who you did that with, maybe both of them. So again, go to Tony's channel, subscribe to Tony's channel. You have a lot of good videos on his channel. And he's saying that he has the same setup right here in the chat. So, okay. Here's where the conversation started between Tony and Chio. Right there. So just to make sure we get that in the chat as well. Let me go back through here, make sure I haven't missed anything. YouTube stats for nerds. Again, Chio, thank you for your input tonight. You've had lots of it. That's really cool. YouTube stats for nerds only had 38 frames drops for me out of 20. Wow, pretty cool. Jay switched to 2160p and the stuttering is still there. Yeah, I'm sure it is. I'm sorry, guys. So I guess when you watch this back, if you weren't with me live, make sure you set it at 1080p and watch it like that. And who knows, maybe the stuttering will be in the whole video. We'll just have to see. Again, I won't be doing a stream again, guys, 4K like this in the future. At least that's my plan. So keep that in mind. This is just something fun to do. It's summer. It's June. I thought it would be great to go back in time and stream like I did when I first started. I don't need to stream this way now. I have 2 extreme ISOs by Blackmagic Design. I have one using it to get me extra channels. It comes into input 3 and 4. And so that gives me literally 8 inputs that I can switch between for channel extreme input number 2 or 3 or 4. And so then I lose 2 of the 8 inside my first extreme, but I can stream directly from it. If I want to do any training, I can show the screen, the software on the other one. So that gives me ability to show them even how to set up a stream because I'm streaming from one live, the other one I'm not streaming from live. So just again, so because I have 2 extreme ISOs, let's just say this one is streaming live and I have this one coming in to 2 inputs because it has 2 HDMI outputs. That's what I love about the extreme ISO. They have 2 outputs instead of 1 HDMI output, and both of them you can use the matrix on the front for HDMI input 1, but input number 2, you can also use the matrix inside the control software. And so I can choose any of the other inputs to come out of 1 and 2 HDMI out, and then they come into input 2, 3, and 4 on my main extreme. And so I could bring the HDMI software from my PC in and use that as training. I could also do a web presenter at the end of the stream, but I'm using both HDMI outputs to go to different monitors in my studio. That's why I am not using a Web Presenter Pro. I could use one of my famous splitters to go to the Web Presenter and to a monitor. So maybe one day I will get a Web Presenter for my stream, and then I can be demoing that to clients and people and training them how to use the ATEM control software to run their show. So OBS is a great tool. Let me just say this. It's also, if you have a fast enough computer, it's got lots of things you can do with it. You can show slideshows, you can show videos, you can show the chat, you can show a lower third, like a logo. So my logo on and off. You can put chat on the air or off. So chat on the air or off, my logo on the air or off, and so many things. You can do a background and do something like super source. So I could just quickly, while I'm live, change the size of that window and then open something else up like my slideshow wherever it went. And I could bring that on like that and make a quick super source layout. Actually, why I'm sitting here in the studio. So I like it. I think it's really cool. I use it to make my intro and outro videos. I should do more cool stuff with my intro and outro videos because I really do use OBS every week, but mainly to program my intro and outro, record it, and then I bring it into Adobe Premiere and do more things in Adobe Premiere. So actually streaming from OBS has been faster for me when it comes to getting ready for a show because I don't have to make an intro and outro video and then render it ProRes for my HyperDeck. So if you're just starting out live streaming and you have a fast enough computer, man, I would roll with OBS or use some other software where you can stream directly from a PC or a laptop or a Mac or a MacBook Pro or a Mac Mini, Mini 2. I would just run with it because it is free. And it's great software. You can donate to them, and everybody that uses OBS should donate to those guys. So again, lots of history here in the studio, my new house, and losing my man cave, turning it into a production studio like it is right now. And when I come in here, I'm not on my dining room table anymore. When I come in here, I'm actually working. It's a working environment. It's definitely not a man cave any longer. And there's a side of me that wishes it was a man cave. But it is not a man cave. So, that is interesting. Did I freeze up? What is going on here? I can no longer transition. That's never happened before in OBS. Let's see here. Duplicate source, swap preview, program, duplicate scenes. That is so weird. So right now, my transition is not showing up for me to be able to do any transition. So I'm not sure if I froze up. I don't know. Let me know in the chat if I froze up. You're going to be stuck with me in this layout. Let me see if let's go like this. Let's turn EOS R screen off again. Yeah, I cannot transition. Can I just cut? Quick transition. Cut. Yeah, weird. I can no longer transition. Recording intro, yeah. I don't get this. Can't use the bar. There we go. Really weird. Something happened in the bottom of the screen in the cut window, but there we go. I'm on almost full screen again with my logo. Let's wrap things up tonight talking in the chat. So let's get chat back on the air and let's see what you guys have to say. Any other comments? Oh, I see we have a guest. Pleb Trader, I'm watching on Amazon Fire TV, and it looks great. Awesome. That's great. I am 4K. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for subscribing, because obviously if you're chatting, you subscribed. I really appreciate it. Hope that you'll hang out with us in future live streams. Do have lots of fun things to do and talk about, and we'll bring some footage for sure in 2 weeks from the event that I'm doing over in a town called Benton City, about 20 minutes from my house. So I hope you guys will join me there. DJ Ware says, oh, let's put this back up here again. Make sure that you are on the screen. Yeah, chat is not transitioning. This is so weird. I've never had this happen before. Chat is live in the preview video. If I hit transition, it does not cross over. There it goes. So I have it set to chat. Okay. Fade. Let's try this now. Okay. So there you go. Good to have you, Pleb. And thank you for watching tonight on a Fire Stick. That's really cool. Now back to Tony or DJ Ware's comment here. An ATEM in the small form factor in 4K is still on my wish list, but it might be a bit much to hope for. Yeah, I don't know that Blackmagic Design is ever going to do that. I hope for it too. I would also like an Extreme that's 4K. But again, I'm not really sure that our part of the world is ready for 4K, especially when people are tuning in around the world and they have to have really fast internet all around the world to be able to watch 4K. The cool thing is you could stream at 4K if you have plenty of power inside the studio, very powerful internet getting out of the studio, then people can watch at whatever frame rate they want on YouTube. Obviously, Facebook's a whole nother party. So, okay, Chio says, I do have an ATEM going into my Camlink Pro, which has 4K 30 HDMI inputs in case I want to use OBS or Teams. So let me process this. Yeah, so yeah, Camlink has their Pro device that you can buy. A lot of gamers use it, and that's what Chio is talking about. So he can bring in 4K 30 into OBS or Teams, and that's a really cool thing. If you're doing some really high-end events, or let's say you're doing them in a facility, and you're going to broadcast that like to other places in your studio, that would be really cool. You would have to use a different tool to do that. Like, but you can send 4K through a couple Ethernet ports. I think there's some fast enough encoders now to go through Cat6 cable, 4K, but I'm not sure it would be completely all the way to the highest not frame rate, but screen size at 4K. So Tony says, DJ Ware, I agree 100%, but I am not holding my breath. Yeah, Tony responding to the idea of a 4K A10 Mini Pro, small form factor. That would be cool, but you do have an option. So Cleo shared the option tonight, so check out that Camlink Pro 4K on Elgato's webpage if you want to. Marshmallow roaster. Yeah, they evidently they get hot. I don't think it does, Chio. Does it upscale? Does the Camlink upscale to 4K Camlink Pro? It could. It might upscale. I have not done that research, but that is a great question, Tony. So good job, Tony. Any other comments, thoughts, things that you want to throw on the table? Let me know. Chio Walker will have 4K Pro MK.2 that I switch out. The Camlink Pro, both are native 4K. And then his response, I guess I took chat off the air too quickly here to see if I can get this to transition back on. So you have this response, and then to your question, Tony, it looks like Chio is saying yes. Well, good to have you on here, Chio Walker, because you've had some great input, and I appreciate it. That's the whole idea with this YouTube community, the whole idea of talking about live streaming tech, which is really what my channel focuses on when I don't do something crazy as a ventriloquist with a dummy called Ratso, or I do something else like with my grandson Dominic. But I like to focus mainly on live streaming tech, also cameras, video tech. I don't do a lot of videos here on my channel about cameras. I've done some on microphones. I definitely have done a lot here on HyperDeck. So you want to learn about Blackmagic Design HyperDecks. There's a video series here on the new HyperDeck Plus. There's a video series here on the older HyperDeck Mini, Studio Mini, and they both have fill and key features. So if you really want to learn about how to use those and automate those inside the Blackmagic Design control software, then there's lots of videos here. I've done a series on using Aaron Parecki's plugin for chat. So that series is on here as well. So I hope there's a lot of still consumable videos here, and if you guys do consume those, it will help my channel during the summer because I haven't done a lot of uploads, but we will be getting some uploads up here very soon. Also, I wanted to give you guys an update on mine and Dominic's channel. We've had some crazy things going on in mine and Shannon's world with our children, with with a wedding coming up this weekend that my wife is flying to. This gig came up. I've been going to some meetings to be a part of this event. It's a volunteer thing for me, but I will be running sound for 5 days. So I've had to kind of push pause on mine and Dominic's YouTube channel, which is going to be a collectible channel, not related to this channel at all. But I just want to let you guys know an update on that. We did go to the new Spider-Man movie, the animated movie. It was amazing, though they did leave you hanging for a part 2. So keep that in mind if you go to that movie. And so we will be talking about that live once we get his channel launched. And then we will bust out the Miles Morales figure that we purchased together. And we have another figure that we're going to be getting before the end of the summer. And so, and maybe I'll bring that online. Who knows? Okay, DJ Ware, we'll have to check that out. That's a comment to Chio. And here's the cameras and some of the equipment that Chio is using in his studio. So, yeah, it always makes me curious. So, Chio, if you would like to do a 1-hour free consult, I would love to hear a little bit more about your studio. Anybody else wants a 1-hour free consult? I do have a program where I work with clients, and there's a monthly program for 3 hours, a monthly program for 6 hours, and then there's people that after they've been with me for 90 days that just buy time when they need it, and I continue to equip and train them. But I'd love to just have a face-to-face with you and learn a little bit more about what you're doing. I'm curious now after all of your amazing feedback. So, okay. I'm going to wrap this up. I have a place to be tonight, so I can't stay on much longer. My streams are too long anyway. I know that I get bonus points from Joe, who isn't on tonight, if I get over an hour in my stream, and it looks like I have hit the hour. I'm not sure what we get to do with those bonus points, but Joe does give those out when he is on these live streams. So again, if you have something that you want to talk more about that we discussed tonight, again, the DJI mic kit, the Stream Deck Plus, talking about some of the equipment I have in my studio. We are going to be doing this IT stream. So I'm going to be giving you guys a tour of my internet setup, my network setup. We're going to Country Mercantile to take some video footage of the transmitter. On top of that, it receives from the mountain. We're going to go up on the mountain. We're going to also show you the receiving transmitter on my house. It's in the back of my house. I'm going to have Mark, my IT guy who travels all over the Northwest, has been doing that type of work for a long time. Some large companies in the Northwest that he works with. Plus he has his home network. He has a tower in his backyard. We're also going to have that footage. And he did all this because he did not have any internet when he built his house on the other side of the highway. And so that's how I ended up getting internet in my house before they had any cable available here in my neighborhood. And I love it. I mean, it's not great for gaming because you will lose packets as a gamer, and that could cost you a game because packets are really important for getting smooth mouse working on your screen. But what we're doing with live streaming and the stuff that I do here, Zoom calls, I don't need to be too worried about little packets being lost. And what is that? That means when you're going through the air, you can lose tiny little bits of information they call packets, and it could be lost in transit. It never gets to the other side. That could be like a teeny tiny pixel in my picture. If you lose lots of that information, it could be a broken up video, or you could have a mouse that's jittering across the screen like some of you guys are describing my video tonight. So cool. Okay. Let's see. I do want to do this. Tony, thank you. I thank you for wishing me luck in the gig next week. Yeah, I'm using their sound equipment. I will have a couple things out there of mine. We're thinking about doing some live streaming. We're still trying to figure out internet out there. Can we get it from the event center next to this field? We're going to be out in a big tent. And we may get a hotspot. We're working on that. We still have a couple days to sort that out. We don't have a live event until Friday evening, but Thursday and Friday morning are bug fixing setup. So we've given ourselves plenty of time out there to make sure everything's working right. We have an RV coming out there for different people that are doing security, and we have a couple little pop-up tents that are going to be in the back providing some shelter for different people that are going to be speaking. And I wish I had the technology to go out there and do a ton of video, but I'm going to be so busy. I will give you guys some behind-the-scenes footage for sure, and you guys will get a chance to see that in a couple weeks. And I'm looking forward to having Mark and all of that on the channel sometime before maybe August. We'll see how that works. Okay. Anchio is a Windows 11 user. And he has a few streaming softwares besides OBS. And you can put that in the chat. People will see that. It'll replay. What do we have up here? Put that up there. I did not see this comment, DJ. So before I wrap it up, get that up there. So DJ Ware says he has... and OBS Linux is even more of a downside. Okay? Take your word for that. Cool. Okay. Well, guys, I am going to wrap this stream up. Let's get some things going here. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for your chat. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. Again, if you find a video you haven't watched here on the channel, consuming that would be really helpful for me, just to make sure I keep some viewing up. I will get some new videos up here before summer is out. And I got a couple short ideas I want to do this weekend at this event. We'll see. Maybe we'll get some more special guests here this summer. If you have any ideas, please let me know. But I love the idea of talking about the internet here in the house and how it gets to my house, and having Mark on here to cover those videos with me. We'll talk over some video footage together, which will be fun. And then we'll have some Q&A, which will probably all be directed to Mark, which I'm perfectly fine with. So again, that will be all about how the internet works, getting to my house, my network inside my house, his network, which brings in my internet. And like I said, I have over 100 up, 100 down, all through those devices. So cool. Well, guys, have a good night. Have a good week. I will see you in 2 weeks. I may pop on the channel, so just keep your eyes peeled. I may do a quick live from the event on my phone if I can get some internet. I have my A10 Mini Pro I could take with me as well. I am going to have one of my cameras, but I'd have to use my DJ mic. But the cool thing about this, I can use this as a microphone. I could use my Canon camera out there, or I could take my laptop and use my Insta360 camera that I was using tonight to show you guys different places in my studio. So watch for that. If it doesn't happen, I will be back here streaming from an A10 Mini Pro next time we're live, which will be in 2 weeks tonight. So have a great summer. Again, thank you guys for joining me, and I hope you have an amazing evening. And let's get my background ready here. That's my background, right? Yep. Turn Super Source off, and I will see you guys later. Thank you for joining me. Have a great, great, great night.